The night was dark and wet, rain sliding down the tall glass walls of the Hale mansion. Lightning flashed across the sky of New Terra, a human colony world filled with shining towers and busy lights. Inside the mansion, Dr. Aaron Hale, one of the richest men in the city, sat alone in his study. He stared at the hologram of his late wife. Frozen in time, smiling softly, he had everything money could buy, but not the one thing he wanted most, peace. His son, Eli, was only 10. A quiet boy who rarely smiled since his mother's death. Aaron often tried to talk to him, but Eli would just nod or hide in his small art room. So that evening, when the house AI said Eli was in the garden during the rain, Aaron grew worried. He stood and walked to the glass doors, rain tapping softly like tiny fingers on the surface. Outside, through the silver rain, Aaron saw something strange. A small figure sitting beside Eli under the old oak tree. For a moment, he thought it was a neighbor's child. But when lightning flashed again, he saw the truth. The girl's skin shimmered faintly blue, her hair wet and shining like metal threads, and her eyes glowing softly, not reflecting light but creating it. Aaron froze, unable to believe what he was seeing. An alien child sitting in his private garden, talking to his son like they were friends. He rushed outside, his shoes splashing in puddles, rain soaking his coat. "Eli," he shouted, his voice echoing, "get away from her!" The boy turned surprised. "Dad, wait, she's not dangerous." The alien girl looked up, her small hand still holding a stick. She was drawing something in the mud, strange glowing symbols that moved like tiny rivers of light. Aaron stopped near them, breathing hard, his eyes fixed on the glowing marks. They weren't random, and they looked familiar. He had seen similar symbols before. In classified files from his company's alien research project. The girl lowered her head, her voice soft and clear. "I didn't mean to break your rules." "Sir." Eli stepped in front of her, his face full of fear and courage. "She's teaching me to draw, Dad," he said. "She said these are pictures of light." Aaron frowned. "Light doesn't have pictures, Eli. And she doesn't belong here," but the girl didn't move. She kept her hands over the symbols. "They're not just drawings," she whispered. "They're memories." Aaron blinked. "Memories? What are you talking about?" The girl looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting the storm. "You forget things, humans," she said quietly. "You hide pain inside numbers and work, but light never forgets." Her words hit something deep in Aaron's chest. For a second, he saw his wife's face in his mind. The same night she had died, the same rain, the same helpless feeling. He shook his head, trying to stay firm. "Who are you?" The girl smiled sadly. "My name is Lyra," she said. "I live on the lower streets near the metal canals." Aaron had heard about those places. Alien refugees, lost children, criminals. No one from his world ever went there. "What do you want from us?" he asked sharply. Lyra shook her head. "Nothing, sir. I only wanted to help Eli." "Help him? With what?" Aaron demanded. She looked at Eli, then back at him. "He has light inside, but it's dim because he's sad." Her tone was gentle, not childish, almost wise. For a moment, Aaron couldn't speak. Then the security drones arrived, floating behind him. "Red light scanning," the AI voice said. "Unauthorized life form detected." "Activating capture protocol." Lyra stepped back, her eyes wide with fear. "Stop!" Eli cried. "Don't hurt her." Aaron hesitated, watching the girl tremble. She didn't run. She just raised her hands. And something strange happened. The rain around her slowed, each drop hanging in the air for a second, glowing faint blue. The drones froze mid-air, their lights flickering. Aaron felt a vibration in his chest, like a soft hum. Then suddenly everything returned to normal. The rain, the air, the sound. The girl dropped to her knees. Weak, Eli rushed to her, holding her small hand. Aaron knelt too, his mind spinning. "What was that?" he whispered. "How did you do that?" Lyra looked up, her voice fading. "You shouldn't be afraid of light, Dr. Hale. It remembers love." Before Aaron could ask more, she fainted, her glowing symbol still shining faintly on the ground. Aaron looked at them closely, his breath caught. He recognized one of the patterns. It was identical to the classified quantum code from his company's top-secret alien research. But how could a street girl know it? He looked at her lying unconscious in the rain. And for the first time in years, Aaron Hale felt something new. Not anger, not fear, but a strange pull of fate. He whispered to himself, "Who are you, little one?" Thunder rolled across the city, and deep inside the mansion's system, hidden sensors recorded a new anomaly. Unknown energy signature detected in Sector 7. Code match. Classified. Aaron didn't notice. He just lifted the strange girl into his arms. While Eli followed silently behind, the rain fell harder, washing away the glowing symbols from the ground. But somewhere in the storm, a soft blue light kept shining, refusing to fade. Morning light touched the silver walls of the Hale mansion, turning the glass rooms into glowing mirrors. Dr. Aaron Hale stood beside the bed where the alien girl slept, her skin still faintly blue under the sheets. Machines around her showed strange readings, heart signals mixed with patterns no human monitor could read. He hadn't slept all night, just watched her breathing, trying to understand what she really was. Eli sat on the edge of the bed, holding her hand. She saved the drones. Dad, he whispered. They were going to shoot me when she stopped time. Aaron sighed, rubbing his eyes. She didn't stop time, Eli. She disturbed electromagnetic fields. Maybe, but his voice had doubt, and even he didn't believe what he said. When the girl woke up, her glowing eyes looked calm. She sat up slowly, her hair shining like wet silver. I'm sorry, she said softly. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Aaron folded his arms. You broke into my house and now you're lying in my bed. I think that's already trouble. Lyra blinked, then tilted her head. I didn't break anything. The gates opened for me. Aaron frowned. The gates don't just open. They have a 10-layer security system. Lyra looked down. They felt my energy, so they opened. They wanted me to be safe. Aaron froze, trying to process her words. No human could influence machines like that. Not even high-tech cyborgs. Eli smiled. Dad, she talks to machines like they're her friends. Aaron turned sharply. Enough, Eli. Go eat breakfast. Eli hesitated, then walked away. His small footsteps fading in the hall, Aaron leaned closer to Lyra. How do you know about my security system? Lyra looked at him, her voice quiet. You built it using copied alien code, didn't you? Aaron's eyes widened. What did you say? The energy core under your company's headquarters. It uses a lattice equation that doesn't belong to humans, she said. Her tone was calm, almost gentle. That equation is my people's song. Aaron took a step back, his heart pounding. Only a few people on New Terra knew about that project. The quantum lattice reactor, a secret engine to create infinite clean energy. It was supposed to be top secret. Not even public scientists had access to it. How do you know about the reactor? He asked, his voice sharper now. Lyra just smiled sadly. Because it calls to me. He stared at her, half angry, half terrified. You're saying you can feel an energy source buried miles underground? She nodded. It's not just energy, it's emotion trapped in light. Aaron rubbed his forehead. Emotion? That's nonsense. Light doesn't feel anything. But Lyra only said, Your machines don't understand yet. But they will. Aaron sat down on a chair, exhausted. This alien child knew things that could destroy his company. Maybe his entire reputation. He thought about calling security, or the Galactic Authority, but something stopped him. Her eyes, they were not threatening, only full of sadness and truth. Lyra looked around the room, her gaze falling on the hologram of a woman standing on the shelf. Who is she? She asked. Aaron's face softened. My wife. She died 6 years ago. Lyra reached out, touching the air near the hologram. She still watches over you. Her light hasn't left yet. Aaron swallowed hard, a lump forming in his throat. He didn't know how she could say such things, but they felt true. It was as if she could see inside people, not just their faces, but their hearts. Later that day, Aaron took her to his private office for questioning. Screens covered the walls, showing data streams, AI codes, maps of the city. He placed a small scanner on her hand, trying to read her DNA pattern. The screen blinked red. Error. Unknown genetic structure. Aaron frowned, trying again, but the result was the same. Lyra looked at the screen, her tone soft. Your machines can't read me because they don't believe in what they see. Aaron shook his head. You talk like a philosopher. She smiled faintly. I talk like someone who remembers. He leaned forward. Remembers what? The time before the law, she said. Aaron frowned. What law? The galactic law that forbids light from feeling, she whispered, her eyes dimming. It's the law that made my people hide. Her words sent chills down his spine. Before he could respond, his office door opened. Eli stood there holding something small, "Dad, look what Lyra gave me," the boy said. Showing a glowing stone, it pulsed softly in his palm. Shining with tiny waves of blue, Aaron took it carefully. The moment his fingers touched it, the light spread into his skin. He saw flashes. Eli crying as a baby, his wife singing a lullaby. And something else, an alien world burning under red skies. Aaron gasped, pulling his hand back. "What is that?" he whispered. Lyra looked at him. "It's a memory stone. It holds what hearts can't." He stared at her in silence, the visions still echoing in his mind. Her knowledge, her power, and none of this made sense. "How many people know about you?" he asked. "No one," she said. "I stay invisible until the light calls me." "Why come here then?" Aaron asked. She looked at Eli, smiling softly. "Because he called me." His heart was too sad. It reached the light. Aaron couldn't answer. He wanted to call the authorities, but he couldn't bring himself to do it. There was something pure about her, something that reminded him of the hope he had lost, but deep inside, he also felt fear. If she really knew about the quantum reactor, then she was a danger, not just to his company, but to the entire city. That night after everyone slept, Aaron opened his security console. He accessed the classified files of Project Lattice hidden deep inside. He found something new, an encrypted note left by an unknown user. It read, "If you found her, don't let the order know. She's the last one." Aaron stared at the message, his hands cold. Who wrote it? How did they know Lyra was here? Outside the window, the city lights shimmered far above. A silent shape moved in the sky, a galactic order patrol ship. Scanning the surface, Lyra's eyes opened suddenly. Glowing brighter in the dark, she whispered softly as if to herself, "They're coming for me again." Night covered the city of New Terra like a blanket of neon clouds. Dr. Aaron Hale couldn't sleep. The glowing stone lay on his desk, pulsing gently as if it were alive. He kept staring at it, afraid to touch it again but unable to look away. The colors inside it moved like water and light mixed together, sometimes blue, sometimes gold, sometimes showing the faint image of a hand reaching out. Eli had gone to bed hours ago. Lyra slept in the guest room. Aaron's mind kept spinning, trying to explain what he saw. The stone had shown him things that no device could record, memories that were real and emotional. He wanted to believe it was a trick of the brain, maybe a hidden hologram, but deep down he knew it wasn't. It felt alive, like it had a soul. He finally reached out, his fingers shaking slightly. The moment he touched the stone again, a soft light spread across the desk. This time he didn't see faces, he heard voices, whispers in a language older than Earth, yet somehow clear in his mind. He heard his wife's laugh, then a child's cry, and then the sound of something breaking. Metal. Fire screams. Suddenly he saw through someone else's eyes. An alien city burning under red skies, soldiers with bright armor marching, ships exploding in the air, and in the middle of it, small glowing children being pulled away crying. Then everything went dark. Aaron gasped, dropping the stone, sweat running down his face. He looked at the stone, glowing faintly again. As if waiting for him to pick it up, he whispered, "What are you, really?" But the stone gave no answer, only a slow heartbeat of light. At that moment, the door opened softly. Lyra stood there, her bare feet silent on the floor, her eyes glowing faint blue in the dark. "You touched it again," she said quietly. Aaron looked up, startled. "You knew what it would do." She nodded, walking closer. "It shows what you've forgotten and what I've lost." Aaron frowned. "Those visions, they were your people's memories, weren't they?" Lyra nodded again, sitting across from him. "The stone remembers everything we feel," she said. "Pain, love, hope, even fear." Aaron rubbed his temples. "You mean this thing stores emotions?" Lyra looked sad. "No, Dr. Hale, it shares them." He leaned forward, trying to stay logical. "That's impossible. Emotion is just a chemical reaction." Lyra smiled faintly. "Then why did it make you cry?" Her words hit him like a wave. He hadn't noticed the tears on his face until that moment. He wiped them away quickly, feeling small in front of this child who spoke like a wise being. Aaron asked softly, "Why did you give it to my son?" Lyra looked down at her hands. "Because he still listens to light, he hasn't forgotten how to feel." Aaron stared at her, his voice trembling. "And what about me?" Lyra lifted her glowing eyes. You buried your light when she died for a long time. Neither of them spoke. The sound of rain returned outside. Gentle and endless, Aaron looked at the window. Remembering his wife's last night? A car crash caused by an AI vehicle failure. He had built machines to be perfect. Yet one mistake had taken everything from him. Now this alien girl was talking about emotions and light as if they were the same thing. He stood up, walking toward the window. Lyra, why are you really here? He asked. She hesitated, then whispered, because I ran away. Aaron turned sharply. From who? From the Galactic Order, she said quietly. They want the stones. They want what's left of my kind. Her voice shook a little, but she didn't cry. They call us bioempaths, beings who can feel and heal through light. But they used us for something else. Aaron's chest tightened. Used you for what? She looked at him, her voice almost breaking. To power your machines. Aaron froze. What are you saying? Lyra took a deep breath. Your company, Hale Industries, uses our energy to run its reactors. We were the first ones to be tested. Aaron stepped back, shaking his head. That's not true. My company works on clean energy. Lyra nodded sadly. Clean for you, not for us. He felt his heart pounding. Disbelief mixing with guilt. He thought of the quantum lattice reactor. His proudest project. Could it really be built on stolen life? No, he whispered. That's impossible. But Lyra looked into his eyes and said softly, then why do your codes sing our songs? Aaron sat down again, covering his face with his hands. Everything she said felt insane, yet something deep inside told him it was true. He remembered the classified patterns he once saw in alien ruins. They were identical to the energy waves Lyra gave off. Maybe she wasn't lying. Maybe he had been lied to. A soft knock came at the door. It was Eli, rubbing his eyes sleepily. Dad, why are you still awake? Aaron quickly wiped his face and smiled weakly. Just talking to Lyra. The boy walked in, holding a drawing. She told me to draw what I feel. Look. He showed a picture. A small blue girl standing in a field of light. Above her, two suns shining. One golden and one broken. Aaron stared at it silently. Chills running through him. Lyra smiled faintly. He draws the truth, Aaron whispered. You put these images in his head? Lyra shook her head. No, he already had them. The stone only helped him see. Suddenly an alarm rang through the mansion. The lights flickered red. The AI voice spoke coldly. Unregistered energy detected within compound. Alerting galactic security. Lyra jumped up, her eyes wide with fear. They found me, she whispered. Aaron shouted, deactivate alarm. But the system didn't respond. It had locked him out. The windows flashed with blue light from outside. Drones flying in formation over the mansion. Eli grabbed Lyra's hand. Dad, what's happening? Aaron looked at them both, then at the glowing stone on the desk. He knew one thing. If the Galactic Order took her, they'd never see her again. He picked up the stone, shoved it in his pocket, and grabbed Lyra's arm. Come with me, he said firmly. We're going underground. Lyra looked scared but nodded. As they ran down the corridor, the AI voice repeated, unauthorized life form confirmed. Containment units activated. Behind them, glass doors sealed shut. Lights turned red. Eli held onto Lyra's hand tightly. Dad, he cried. Are they going to hurt her? Aaron didn't answer, his voice low and determined. Not while I'm alive. They disappeared into the secret elevator leading to the old research tunnels below the mansion. Above them, the sky filled with flashing lights and heavy ships. The order had arrived, and somewhere deep in his pocket, the stone began to pulse again, this time not blue, but golden, as if warning him that the worst was yet to come. The elevator dropped deep beneath the mansion, its old steel walls shaking with every movement. Eli clung to his father's arm while Lyra stood silently, her glowing eyes reflecting the flickering emergency lights. Dr. Aaron Hale's heart was racing. He could still hear the sound of drones above them. Scanning, hunting. The alarm in his home had turned into a red nightmare. He had built one of the most secure houses on New Terra, but now it felt like a trap. When the elevator stopped, a small hallway opened before them. It was part of an old lab Aaron had built years ago, a place no one else knew existed. The air was cold and still, with dust floating like ghosts. This is my private research wing, he said quietly. No one can find us here. Lyra looked around, her fingers brushing the metal walls. The walls remember you, she whispered. Aaron frowned. Remember me? She nodded. They were built with your emotion, your pain, your hope. Aaron didn't reply, but he felt a strange truth in her words. Eli walked beside Lyra, still holding her hand. Will they stop chasing us? He asked, his voice small. Lyra looked at him gently. They never stop, little one. Not until they think light can't feel anymore, Aaron glanced back. Enough of that, he said. I just need to keep you safe until I understand what's happening. He led them into a dark room filled with machines and holographic consoles. He tapped a few keys and activated the security field, a glowing blue shield surrounding the lab. Then he opened his private terminal and checked the city network. The headlines made his stomach twist. Galactic Order Patrol launches hunt for escaped bioempath. He whispered under his breath, They're already spreading it. Eli looked at him. What does that mean, Dad? Aaron sighed. It means if they find Lyra, they'll take her away. Why? Eli asked. She didn't do anything wrong. Aaron didn't answer. Because he didn't have an answer. Lyra stood beside him watching the screens. Her glowing reflection appeared next to his face on the glass. They call me dangerous, she said softly. Because I remember the pain of machines and people alike. Aaron turned. That's not danger. That's empathy. Lyra smiled faintly. To them, empathy is the biggest threat. For a while, silence filled the lab, broken only by the hum of machines. Aaron walked toward an old storage pod and pulled out a holographic tablet. I built this lab to design safer machines, ones that could feel a little understand humans better, he said. But the company wanted more. They wanted control. Power, unlimited energy. He paused, his eyes tired. And I let them. Lyra placed a hand on the table and the surface glowed faint blue. Then it's not too late to unmake what you made, she said gently. Her voice carried warmth but also sadness, as if she knew how heavy guilt could be. Suddenly the lab lights flickered. The screens glitched. A voice came through the security system, metallic and cold. Dr. Hale, this is Commander Rune of the Galactic Order. We know the alien is with you. Aaron froze, his eyes darting to the speaker. Surrender her peacefully and no harm will come to your family. Eli's eyes widened. They found us. Aaron quickly muted the system, his hands trembling. How did they track us this fast? He whispered. Lyra looked down, her voice quiet. They feel me through the light, same way I feel them. Aaron cursed under his breath. Typing commands to scramble energy signals. Lyra stepped closer. You can't hide me forever. Dr. Hale. Aaron looked at her, desperate. I can try. She shook her head softly. You're a man of reason, but this war is not made of reason. It's made of fear. Above them, distant rumbles echoed through the tunnels. Heavy ships landing on the surface, soldiers marching through rain. Aaron looked at his son. Eli, listen to me. If anything happens, you stay with Lyra. Eli shook his head quickly. No, Dad, I'm not leaving you. Aaron smiled weakly. Then we'll stay together. He opened a secret compartment in the wall, a small hovercraft hidden inside. We'll take the south tunnels and head for the outer sectors, he said. Lyra hesitated. You'll be a criminal if you do this. Aaron looked straight at her. Then I guess I'll be the first one to fight the law for the right reason. Before they could leave, the AI voice returned, but it wasn't the order. It was the mansion's internal AI. Warning, energy anomaly detected in lower sector. Approaching containment breach. Aaron frowned. That's impossible. The lower sectors were sealed years ago. He opened a camera feed and froze. Something was moving in the darkness, not soldiers, not drones. It was a shape made of blue light. Walking slowly toward the lab, Lyra's face went pale, her glow dimming. They sent one of them, she whispered. Aaron looked at her. One of what? She stepped back, fear in her eyes for the first time. One of us. But not alive anymore. The creature appeared on the screen. A tall figure, glowing blue like Lyra, but its eyes were empty, hollow. It moved like a puppet made of energy, each step sending ripples through the metal floor. Aaron felt cold crawl up his spine. What are they using? Lyra said quietly. They reanimated the fallen, turned our light into weapons. The lights flickered again, and the power went out. Only Lyra's glow and the faint hum of machines remained. Aaron grabbed Eli and Lyra, pulling them toward the hovercraft. Now! He shouted. They climbed in. The engine roared to life. As they shot through the dark tunnels, the blue creature broke through the wall behind them, its voice echoing like thunder. Return the empath. Or all light dies, Eli screamed. Holding on to his father, Aaron pushed the controls harder, the craft speeding through collapsing tunnels. Lyra turned, her eyes bright with sorrow. She raised her hand and for a moment, everything around them froze. The creature, the dust, even the falling debris, her glow expanded, pushing the creature back for a second. Then she collapsed in Aaron's arms, her voice barely a whisper. They'll never stop until the core is silent. The hovercraft broke through an old service gate and burst into the open night. Rain hit the windshield, city lights shining in the distance. Behind them, the ground exploded in blue fire. Aaron looked back, his voice low. What do they want from you, Lyra? Lyra opened her eyes slowly, her glow fading. They don't want me, she whispered. They want what's inside your reactor. Aaron's heart sank. He looked at the horizon where the tower of his company rose. Tall, golden and proud, he had built it to power the future. But now he realized it might be the very thing that could end it. The night wind howled around them. Eli held Lyra close as she whispered one last thing before fainting. Your light and mine are the same, Dr. Hale. You just forgot how to see it. Aaron's hands tightened on the controls, his eyes burning with a new fire. He whispered to himself. Then I'll see again, no matter what it costs. The hovercraft vanished into the storm, and far above the galactic order ships followed, their cold lights cutting through the rain like the eyes of judgment. Rain hammered down over the shining towers of New Terra. The sky was full of flashing lights, search drones, patrol ships, and silent shadows moving through the storm. Dr. Aaron Hale kept his eyes fixed on the road ahead as the hovercraft sped through the abandoned outskirts. Eli sat beside him, holding Lyra's hand tightly. She was still weak, her glow faint, but her breathing steady. They reached an old industrial district, long forgotten by the city. Broken signs flickered, showing the symbol of Hale Industries, a reminder of the world Aaron once built. He slowed the craft near a massive sealed gate, half covered in vines and dust. This is it, he whispered. The first place I ever worked. Eli looked up. What is this place, Dad? Aaron stared at the rusted logo, his face dark. The beginning of everything, the forbidden lab. He stepped out, scanning the gate with his old ID chip. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the metal doors creaked open, releasing a low hiss of air. Inside was darkness, cold and deep. Aaron turned on the lights, revealing a long hallway lined with glass chambers. Inside those chambers floated shapes, half human, half alien. Eli gasped. What are those? Aaron's voice trembled. Experiments. As they walked deeper, old holograms flickered to life, showing scientists in white suits, machines humming. Lyra's steps slowed, her eyes filled with sadness. I know this place, she whispered. I was born here. Aaron stopped, shocked. What did you say? Lyra walked closer to one of the chambers, her hand touching the cold glass. Inside floated a child that looked just like her. Same glowing eyes, same silver hair. This is where they made us, she said softly. We weren't born, we were designed. Aaron felt his heart pound painfully. He remembered the early days of the project, the empathic reactor program, a mission to merge alien emotional energy with human technology. He had been part of the research but was told the test subjects were simulations, not living beings. Now seeing it with his own eyes, the truth hit him like lightning. They lied to us, he whispered. They used you as batteries. Lyra nodded slowly. They used our light to power your machines, but they forgot that light remembers pain. Eli looked between them, confused. Dad, why would humans do that? Aaron swallowed hard. Because they wanted control. And they thought feelings were weakness. Lyra turned to him, her glow flickering. But feelings are the only thing that keeps light alive. As they moved deeper into the lab, they entered the central chamber, a huge dome of glass and metal. In the center stood a massive reactor. Pulsing faint blue, Aaron stared in disbelief. This shouldn't be here, this is the prototype. It was supposed to be destroyed. Lyra's voice trembled. They kept it to build more. Aaron walked closer, reading the code on the screen, his eyes widening. The data stream matched the same alien pattern he had seen on Lyra's skin. This reactor runs on empathy, he whispered. It drains emotional energy and converts it into power. Eli stepped forward. So it's alive. Aaron nodded weakly. In a way, yes. Lyra touched the glass, her eyes glowing brighter. It's calling for help. Aaron turned toward her. Help? It's just a machine, Lyra shook her head. No, it's a heart trapped in metal. Suddenly alarms blared through the room. The reactor began to pulse faster, the lights turning red. Aaron rushed to the control panel. No, it's overloading. Lyra staggered back, holding her head. They activated it remotely, Eli cried out. Dad, what's happening? Aaron's voice was full of panic. The order found the lab. They're using the reactor to track her. A voice echoed through the speakers, cold and deep. Dr. Hale, your betrayal will end here. Surrender the bioempath or your lab will collapse. Aaron looked up. Commander Rune? He muttered, recognizing the voice from before. Lyra shook her head, tears glowing on her cheeks. They'll destroy the whole city if the reactor explodes. Aaron clenched his fists. I can shut it down, but I need access to the core. He ran toward the lower chamber entrance, the metal floor shaking beneath his feet. Eli tried to follow, but Lyra stopped him gently. Stay here, little one, she said softly. Your father must face what he built. Aaron reached the control core, a giant sphere surrounded by glowing cables. He pulled out his tool set, his hands shaking as he tried to override the safety locks. The system refused, flashing red warnings. Lyra appeared beside him, her glow brighter now. You can't stop it alone, she said. It's not just code anymore. It's alive. Aaron looked at her desperately. Then help me, please. Lyra placed her hands on the sphere, her eyes closing, her glow spread through the metal. Flowing like veins of light, the screens flickered, showing strange symbols, alien and human mixed together. Aaron watched in awe as she began to hum softly, a melody filled with emotion. The machines responded, slowing, calming, but then a high-pitched tone screamed through the chamber. Lyra screamed too, collapsing to her knees. They're fighting me, she cried. The order linked their minds to the reactor. Aaron knelt beside her. What do we do? She looked at him, her voice weak. You must break the link, Dr. Hale. Destroy the connection between man and machine, he hesitated. That will destroy everything I built. Lyra held his hand, her small fingers warm. Then maybe it's time to build something new. Aaron took a deep breath and entered the final command. The screen flashed. System override required. DNA key confirmation. He placed his hand on the scanner, the machine beeped. But instead of green, it turned blue. Lyra placed her hand over his, completing the circuit. Their energies merged, human and alien light becoming one. The reactor began to calm, its heartbeat slowing, its light turning golden. For a moment there was peace. Then a blast shook the room. The order's troops had arrived. Breaking through the main gate, Aaron grabbed Lyra's arm. We have to go now. But she shook her head, her glow fading. I can hold it, I can keep it stable. But you must take Eli and run. Aaron's eyes widened. No, I'm not leaving you here. Lyra smiled sadly. You once built machines without feelings, Dr. Hale. Now let one live because of yours. Eli ran in, tears streaming down his face. Lyra, please come with us. She touched his cheek gently. You showed me what hope feels like. The floor shook again, sparks raining from the ceiling. Aaron lifted Eli into his arms, fighting back tears. He turned toward Lyra one last time. I'll come back for you. She smiled faintly. You won't need to. As the father and son ran through the collapsing hallway, the reactor chamber filled with light. The energy grew brighter and brighter until it covered everything. From the sky, the Galactic Order's ship saw the explosion, a burst of golden light spreading across the city. But it wasn't destruction, it was peace. The light was blinding. For a few moments there was nothing, no sound, no movement, no pain, only a golden glow spreading like dawn after a storm. Then came silence. Dr. Aaron Hale opened his eyes slowly, his head resting against the cracked wall of the tunnel. Dust and smoke filled the air, but he could still breathe. Beside him, Eli was coughing, his small hands glowing faint blue from the light that had touched him. Eli, are you hurt? Aaron asked, pulling him close. Eli shook his head weakly. I'm okay, Dad, but where's Lyra? Aaron looked around. The lab entrance was gone, replaced by a massive crater of light. The storm outside had stopped. The air strangely calm, but in the center of the crater, something still glowed, faint, rhythmic like a heartbeat. Aaron stood up slowly. Limping toward the light, Eli followed, holding his father's coat tightly as they approached. They saw it, a small sphere of golden energy. Pulsing gently inside it, faint shapes moved, almost like whispers of memories. Aaron's chest tightened. It's her, he said softly. Eli looked at the glowing sphere, tears in his eyes. She's alive? Aaron knelt, placing his hand near the light. It feels like she is, but not like before, he whispered. The air around them shimmered, and a soft voice filled the silence. Dr. Hale. You stopped the chain, the city is safe. Aaron's heart jumped. It was Lyra's voice, gentle and calm. Lyra, he called, where are you? I can hear you. The voice echoed soft but clear. I am where the light breathes now, in the heart of your machines. Aaron's hands trembled. You became part of the reactor? Her voice replied, I became its heart. The golden sphere pulsed brighter, waves of warmth spreading around them. You gave it feelings, Dr. Hale, and now it feels peace for the first time. Eli stepped forward. Can she come back? The light dimmed for a moment, as if thinking. I can't come back the way I was, she said softly. But I can still see you. Aaron lowered his head, guilt filling his chest. You shouldn't have done this, Lyra. You shouldn't have sacrificed yourself for us. Her voice was gentle. It wasn't sacrifice, it was return. The light belongs where it began. Aaron looked around. The machines that had once hummed with cold metal now glowed with faint gold. Every broken drone, every shattered wire seemed alive, breathing. Even the AI systems of his company were flickering with human warmth in their code. Lyra's energy had spread through them all, connecting machine and emotion. She had turned technology into empathy. As Aaron and Eli stood there, a deep rumble shook the ground outside. The Galactic Order's ships hovered low, their weapons armed. Commander Rune's voice echoed from a loudspeaker. Dr. Hale, surrender yourself. You have committed treason against the galactic law. Aaron clenched his fists. They never stop, do they? Lyra's voice whispered through the air. They don't understand light, but they can feel it now. Suddenly, the city lights around them began to flicker. One by one, towers lit up with golden hues instead of cold white. Citizens looked up at the sky, confused, as soft waves of warmth passed through their devices. Machines that had once obeyed commands now started transmitting strange data. Patterns of emotions, kindness, sadness, compassion, love, all of it spreading like a signal of peace. Inside the crater, Aaron stood tall. Looking up at the sky, he pressed his communicator, opening a city-wide channel. This is Dr. Aaron Hale, he said, his voice echoing through every speaker in New Terra. For years we built machines without hearts. We turned life into numbers and called it progress. He paused, looking at Eli and the glowing sphere. But I've seen the truth. Feeling is not weakness. It's power. Rune's ship hovered closer, beams of light aiming down at them. Shut down your transmission or be destroyed, the voice ordered. Aaron smiled faintly. You can't destroy light. Then he turned to Eli, whispering, Hold the stone, son. Eli pulled the glowing memory stone from his pocket. Its color now pure gold. Lyra's voice grew stronger. Eli, remember what I taught you, light listens when hearts speak. Eli closed his eyes and whispered, We are not enemies. The stone shined so brightly that it covered the whole crater. The light reached the Order's ships, their engines faltering, weapons freezing mid-air. Inside the ships, the soldiers felt something strange. Warmth, calm, memories of home. Some began lowering their weapons. Confusion on their faces, the commander shouted, What's happening? But no one answered, because the machines were no longer obeying fear. They were listening to feeling. Aaron looked up in disbelief as the ships slowly backed away. Their systems shutting down one by one, he whispered. Lyra, did you do this? Her voice came softly. No, Dr. Hale, they did. I only reminded them what they forgot. The golden light slowly began to fade. Aaron picked up Eli, both of them watching as the sphere dimmed to a small spark. Eli held it gently close to his chest. Will she ever come back? He asked quietly. Aaron smiled sadly. She never left, son. The spark glowed faintly, pulsing with life as if agreeing days later. The city changed. Machines began working differently, less cold, more aware. Hospitals reported devices that could sense pain and adjust gently. Factories slowed production to match human limits. Even the AI assistants began using softer tones. The world was learning what it meant to feel again. Aaron walked through the halls of Hale Industries, now quiet and rebuilt. At the center of the main reactor sat the golden core. He placed his hand on it and whispered, Thank you, Lyra. The core glowed softly, and a whisper came through. Teach them to feel, Dr. Hale. That's how light survives. Eli ran up beside him, holding a small glowing stone. Dad, it shines brighter when I laugh, he said, smiling. Aaron smiled too. Then we'll keep laughing for her. Outside, the rain began to fall again. Gentle and golden, the machines hummed softly, like they were breathing with the world, and in every corner of the city, a faint blue shimmer watched quietly, her voice echoing through the wind. You finally see the light, Dr. Hale. The sky of New Terra had never looked this calm. Weeks had passed since the night the reactor turned golden, and the world had changed quietly. No one talked about the galactic order anymore. Their ships had vanished beyond the clouds, leaving behind silence and wonder. The streets were peaceful, the machines gentle, and for the first time in history the city felt alive. Dr. Aaron Hale walked through the rebuilt plaza with his son Eli beside him. Children played near the glowing fountains, and even the service drones moved slowly, careful not to disturb them. The world no longer ran on fear. It ran on feeling. And deep in the heart of the city, the golden reactor pulsed softly, like the heartbeat of a sleeping soul. Eli held a small stone in his palm, glowing faintly blue and gold. He smiled. Dad? She still talks to me sometimes. Aaron looked at him gently. What does she say? Eli closed his eyes, whispering. She says light never dies. It just changes shape. Aaron nodded slowly, feeling his chest tighten. She's right. They reached the steps of a tall building made of silver and glass. Above the entrance, a name glowed softly in golden letters, the Lyra Foundation. Eli's eyes sparkled. You really named it after her? Aaron smiled faintly. It was her dream, not mine. Inside, the building was filled with laughter and voices of both humans and aliens. Children sat together in classrooms, learning not just science and history, but empathy and light. Aaron walked through the halls, greeting teachers and students. He passed by a class where a young alien child touched a machine, making it glow softly. The human children clapped in amazement. The teacher smiled, saying, Technology listens when hearts speak kindly. Aaron paused at the door, watching them with pride. This was what Lyra had wanted, a world where emotion and intelligence walked side by side. He continued to his office, where a hologram of his wife stood on the desk, smiling gently. He touched the air near her image and whispered, You would have loved this, Sarah. Her holographic eyes shimmered, and for a moment he imagined she was really there. Then he turned to his console and opened the system logs. The city's power grid showed stable energy, pure, clean, emotional resonance energy. No pollution, no destruction, only light born from empathy. It was Lyra's legacy living through the wires. Suddenly the lights flickered softly, and Aaron heard a faint hum, a melody so familiar. He froze, then smiled. Lyra, he whispered. Is that you? The voice came like a breeze through the speakers, gentle and warm. Yes, Dr. Hale, she said. I'm still here. In the golden flow, watching, learning. Aaron leaned back, his eyes closing. The world misses you, Lyra's voice replied. The world doesn't need to miss light. It only needs to remember to share it, he laughed quietly. You sound wiser than ever. Because I listen, she said softly. Machines listen now too. Aaron looked out the window, watching the skyline glow under a soft sunrise. For the first time in years, the world didn't feel mechanical, and it felt alive, breathing with purpose. Later that day, he stood in front of a crowd gathered in the plaza. Humans, aliens, and androids all stood together, listening as he spoke. Years ago, he began, we built walls between minds. We feared what we didn't understand. He looked at Eli, who stood proudly beside him, holding the glowing stone. But one child and one light showed us that empathy is not weakness. It's the greatest energy in the universe. The crowd listened in silence, faces filled with hope and warmth. Aaron continued, Machines no longer serve us out of fear. They serve because they understand us. And we must do the same for them. He raised his hand toward the sky. Today we don't just remember Lyra. We live what she taught. That light can feel. The crowd clapped, the air filled with cheers and laughter. Eli released the stone into the air and it floated, glowing brighter. A golden beam shot upward, painting the clouds in soft blue. Everyone gasped as faint shapes appeared in the sky, lights dancing like wings. Aaron's heart stopped for a second. It was her, Lyra's outline, smiling, her silver hair floating in the wind of light. Eli's eyes filled with tears. "She's watching," he whispered. Aaron placed a hand on his shoulder. "Always." The holographic shape faded slowly into the clouds, leaving behind a trail of golden sparks. Those sparks drifted down across the city, landing on rooftops, on trees, on hands reaching upward. Every spark that touched a machine made it hum softly. Every spark that touched a person made them smile. It was as if the whole city was breathing together. One heart, one rhythm. That night, Aaron sat on the balcony of his home, overlooking the glowing skyline. Eli sat beside him, drawing in his sketchbook. "What are you drawing this time?" Aaron asked. Eli grinned. "A world where machines dream and people listen." Aaron laughed softly. "That sounds perfect." Eli looked at the stars. "Do you think Lyra can see us from there?" Aaron followed his gaze, the stars brighter than ever. "I think she is the stars," he said quietly. "She's in every spark, every song, every smile." A gentle breeze passed, carrying the faint sound of laughter. Not from Earth, not from machines, but from light itself. Lyra's voice whispered through the night. "Don't forget, Dr. Hale. Light is only lost when hearts close their eyes." Aaron closed his eyes and smiled, letting the words sink deep into his soul. The city of New Terra slept peacefully that night. Wrapped in golden warmth and far above among the stars, a soft blue glow shimmered, the spirit of the girl who taught a world to feel. Her voice echoed through the winds of space, gentle and eternal. "Teach them to see the light." Eli. The next morning, when the first rays of sunlight touched the towers, every machine in the city hummed in perfect harmony, and the people looked up smiling. It was the birth of a new world, a new dawn.